All right, we're going live, everyone. My name is Richard Lewis Brown. Today is November 17th, 2021. Local 1000 listens to you. We're going to do a PowerPoint. Hopefully it won't last very long. And we're going to make it a fun evening. We don't know what to expect tonight because, we don't really script or edit. People who call in, they call in because they have concerns, they have questions, sometimes they have comments. And, it's always exciting. So it's 6:30. Again, I'm Richard Lewis Brown, Local 1000 President. Today is November 17th, 2021. Local 1000 listens to you. Let's turn it on. All right, let's get it going. All right. Election statistics and overview of the 2021 election report. November 17th. This election, our elections vendor that we hired, Paul Koch, wrote a report, and he asked me months ago to talk about it, to publish it, to put it up on our website. It will be up hopefully by tomorrow morning. This entire PowerPoint presentation, along with the analysis from our past election, will go up for everyone to review. All right. So it talks about the historical analysis of Local 1000 election turnout and votes, the review, critical analysis, and observations of Mr. Paul Gonzalez Koch. And we put this copy at the end here. We won't go through all these PowerPoint slides. We'll just go through a few. All right. But we're going to go back in time and then come up to the present. Because you don't know what you're doing in the present to prepare for the future until you study your past. And I know a lot of people say we don't care about the past. Yes, we do. Because if you don't correct your mistakes from the past, then you will continue to make those same mistakes in the present and into the future. And that's going to hurt our ability to grow our membership. And before I even continue this, the Essential Worker Premium Pay Petition, we're still doing it. And we said we'd go up to December 1st. We may go past that date by a few days. If people are still sending it in. To all your co-workers, to all the state employees, please go to our website, SEIU1000.org. Go under For the Record. We have an electronic Essential Worker Premium Pay Petition. Take a minute or two, fill it out, tell all your co-workers. Please do this because you are deserving of that money. $76 billion in surplus in our state budget. The money is there. We just have to get it. All right. So, historical election numbers. Starting in 2005, our first Local 1000 election, Jim Hart won that. 2008, Yvonne Walker won. And she won in 2011, 2015, 2018, and then I won in the historic race. 5 people, including Yvonne Walker, ran in the 2021 election. 5 people. That was historic. And when you look at the numbers here, the high number was in 2011, 5,092. But then, following that election, and that was a 4-year term. All the other terms are 3-year. That election was a 4-year term. Following that election, the numbers went down dramatically. Everyone has an opinion on why the numbers went down. All right. And then as you can see, the numbers have gone up. And we're off a little bit here in 2021 versus the 2018. All right. But again, 5 people, including the incumbent, ran this election. That tells you how important this election was. That's what that tells you. All right. Now, the casting of the votes. Starting in 2005, over 7,300. We can't get the data for 2008. I don't know why. And 2011 again, historic, big voter turnout, almost 9,000. But as you can see, the votes for the president, it went down dramatically in 2015, but it's been climbing ever since, up to almost 7,800. in 2021. So when they said, the voter turnout was kind of low, yeah, it has been, but our numbers are going up. All right. And then the percentages, when you really round it, here's my number, 34%, 3 and 4 is 7. So that was for the 2021 race, to percentages. Secretary Treasurer, going all the way back in the past. 2008, even though we don't have any data, 5 people ran. Cora Okamura won in 2008. That was a popular race back then. And then you can see normally you have possibly 4 or 3 people running in the following elections. And David Jimenez won in 2021. VP, Organizing Representation. Annika Walls won again in 2021 after winning in 2018. And as you can see, six people, including her, ran in this race this year. So, historical number for VP of Organizing, historical number for the president in this year's election. That shows you that people care. That's what that shows you. All right. And they showed you how much they cared. Again, in 2021, we had 5 people run to be the VP for bargaining. Irene Green won that race both times, the first time and the second time. 3 historic races in 2021. So when they tell you that this election wasn't that important, it was important. And a lot of people ran because they had something to say. They had work they wanted to do for our represented employees of Local 1000. Okay. And this is the review. Paul Gonzalez-Koch, he's been in charge of running these elections since 2011. He has received, it says almost 439,000. Let me repeat this for you again. Since January 2011, he has received almost $439,780. So close to $440,000 we paid Mr. Koch. Why is that so important? Because money matters. This election that we had for VP of Bargaining had to be redone off a costly mistake. $365,000. That's before I became president. All right, so, and as you can see in the previous election cycles, sometimes we paid him $6,100 a month with a high of $6,500 a month. But this election, he only received $4,100 a month. All right. And this is all his payments. There's your financial transparency that I was talking to you about on my 10-point platform. All right, so we'll keep going. And you'll see the $6,500 started in 2014, continued up through July of 2015, and then it dropped down to $6,100, and then finally, let's see here, September 2020, it dropped down to $4,100, and his last check was paid on September 2nd of this year for $4,100. Okay, $439,779.41 for his expertise. In his report, he says a lot of different things. According to Mr. Koch, or Gonzalez-Koch, this was a very expensive mistake that was made which caused this election to be rerun. Now, the problem was 2 people ran in the VP of Bargaining race that should not have run. That should have been caught in January, but it wasn't. For a statewide office that important, you think they would have verified who was running, but they did not do that. So, it appears that it's very costly to employ Mr. Gonzalez Coke for his elections process acumen. That's what it appears. All right. And throughout his report, he says that it's the previous chief of staff. For some reason, Local 1000 likes to blame the chief of staff for everything that goes wrong. Well, you know, then it comes to me right next. Sure, but we'll share it together. But somehow, he's faulting the previous chief of staff. But amazingly, not him, who's been in charge of this process for over a decade. And I believe the previous chief of staff, she was hired, I want to say, in July of 2018. So before she even came on board, Mr. Gonzalez Coke has been in charge of these election cycles. All right. And so we go on here, and we're talking and talking. The election cycle total of 685 DLC level positions, 4 statewide office positions, 25 CBERs, 289 DBER positions. 289 DBER positions, that's important. We have the SBAC coming December 11th and 12th, where the district bargaining unit representatives will elect the bargaining unit negotiating committee, the bump team, along with the bump chair. So that's very important. Stay tuned for that. And it's talking about the elections committee was appointed by the former president on December 18th, 2020. All right. Now here's something I want to bring out to you. What time? 6:41. Okay. The report notes that the degree of involvement of third-party vendors for the 2021 election cycle was changed from past practice. Not exactly. This statement is not entirely accurate, but intentionally misleading. Third-party vendors such as MSI and Safeguard Web and Graphics, SWAG, have been part of the Local 1000 election since at least 2011, even though SWAG worked under the supervision of MSI for this particular election. Now here's the key. Unilec was brought on to replace Martin and Chapman as the ballot design consultant and ballot processor. That's the one difference. They designed a ballot, and then they bring their machines up and they count it. They call themselves Unilec. Fair enough. In this cycle, the role of the communications department for document development was given to the private vendors at an increased cost to the local. However, the cost, we don't know what that cost was. The role of the Local 1000 Communications Department for document development was given to a private vendor, or to the private vendors at an increased cost. I don't know if the board approved that or not. I don't know. All right. Now, I'm going to take my time and I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to go through really fast. August 2020, MSI was signed into a contract for $370,818 to design, print, and mail election materials and to hire a ballot custodian and data programmer. You see this in black? Let me read this for you. Some of you will know this quite well. Please note that MSI is not a full union shop. So we're making these ballots and sending it out to you because we're so pro-union, so pro-labor, yet the people we hired to do this, well, you know, I guess that's money. Let's see here. The design, print, and mailing of ballots could have easily been done by a full union shop. Commerce Printing in Sacramento for a fraction of the cost with no charge for the design. You didn't know that, did you? See, they've been asking me for transparency. And I told you, stop poking the bear. Or should I say, poking the panther. All right. Oh, and by the way, UAW 2350, that's our staff, by the way. But we're still memorand. Just saying. Okay. UAW 2350 also complained about Local 1000 illegally using their bug for election materials in the 2015 and 2018 elections. Commerce printing must be strongly considered and used for any future elections for Local 1000. Commerce printing is a full union shop. Now, I know I'm going to be called out for this, and I'm going to be questioned on this. You know what I say to you? Dig in. Yeah, you dig on in, and I'm going to dig right back at you. But with love and respect, of course. Sure. But I'm telling you about this money, and they've been telling you that I've been abusing this money and spending this money in wild and unprofessional ways since I started on June 30th. But now the truth is going to come out over all of these years, who's been spending money on what. All right. And then Unilec was signed for a contract for $91,400. Is Unilec a union shop? I don't think so. All right, moving on. Oh, and here's what I say, verifying my mouth. Here is the UAW 2350, May 1st, 2015. And here's the 2018. Ironically, I complained about this so much that in this election, they didn't use that bug. So when they say that people are not listening to me, oh, that's not true. Oh, yes, you are. You just don't want to acknowledge it. But you don't have to, because I'm transparent. I'm going to expose you anyway. You say, well, how is all this exposing this stuff in the past going to help us? Because by me exposing the past, now you will start to understand why they're trying to run me out of office and why I cannot give you 1,000% love. I can give you about 999,000% love. That 1%, I'm just off. Just off a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay. 321 competitive candidate nominations were processed. All right. Now you realize 33 uncontested positions were deemed elected by default, and the results were published on our website. Listen to this. Only 21 statewide, listen to this, only 21 statewide and DLC leadership positions were contested. These 33 uncontested positions, I missed my word, were DLC presidents. They were DLC presidents. So when they tell you that they're representing their membership, how do you know that? You don't know. Because they ran in the race, there was no one that competed with them for those votes. I ran in a race where I had to compete for every vote across all 51 DOCs and all 730 plus job occupations or job classifications. So when some of these people are saying that, they're representing their people, you don't know who they're representing other than themselves. I was elected on a 10-point platform. I don't remember those DLC presidents having any platform they ran on. Maybe some did. I'm just saying. All right. Listen to this, because they got caught, and I caught them too. The voting packages were mailed out early in April so that voting could be properly begin on April 19th. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? We're going to mail them out early to you so you can get the ballot, take your time, and fill it out, and send it back. That ain't the truth. Who knew that they were mailing those ballots out early? Other than the incumbent. I didn't know. That affected my campaign strategy. Oh, you thought I didn't have a strategy? Yeah, okay. So, however, no one except those in the know had knowledge that the mailing of these voting packages were being mailed prior to the date. It was stated in December of 2020 on our Local 1000 website, FAQs, that the ballots would not be mailed until April 19th. You say, are you sure, Richard? Oh, yeah. You probably can't read this. Ballots will be mailed out to all Local 1000 members beginning on April 19th. That's the one. Here's the second one. Where's it at here? Ballot opening period. Ballots mailed to members, April 19th. Why didn't they want to tell the candidates when they were mailing those ballots out? Why were they being so secretive? The same reason why they were being secretive in the illegal and out of order board meeting on October 16th and 17th. They don't want you to know anything. They want you to know what they want you to know. Which means they're going to create the narrative for you to believe. All right. Now, the report points out that April 7th, now listen to this. The report points out that April 7th, 2021 was the last date a state employee could become a member and be eligible to vote. Listen to this. This is inaccurate due to the fact that an email was sent on April 2nd, wait for it because I got it, informing non-members that they must be a member, wait for the key word because words matter, prior to April 7th. So if you were a day late, get out of here. You're not voting. Now, how many times have they done that in the past and disenfranchised people? All right. And then they say, a second deviation from past practice. After reviewing the messaging, leadership made a decision not to communicate this date to state employees, thereby reducing overall transparency of the process. A second deviation. This is a second deviation. This was not a second deviation. I wanted to say this was a second deviation lie. Okay? But it was simply the first time the act was caught. When you go to our website, you're going to see this email. And it says here, where does it say it? Your membership application must be received before April 7th. Not on April 7th. It says the key word before. Words matter. All right. Okay. And then they sent out the ballots over, I think, oh gosh. I can't remember the exact number. It's like 55,000 and something ballots went out. 7,948 came back. Only 7,880 were deemed valid. And I know there's a lot of questions about what's being deemed valid and what's not. But we'll try to proceed on here. Now listen to this. When they figured out that they had made a mistake, as they called it the technical reason, I call it the technical excuse. Okay? That's what I call it. Could have been prevented by informing all the candidates in March who was running for what category. Because then we're going to look around and say, oh, you're running for this office? Okay, who are you? And we're going to start asking questions about you. They kept this secret until they mailed those ballots out in early April. So you didn't know who was running. They did that purposely. Can I prove it? Subjectively, I can. You did not find out who was running for office, who was going to lead the largest public sector union in the state of California until they mailed those ballots out sometime in April that probably arrived at your house a day or two prior to April 19th. Up to then, you didn't know who was running unless they told you. And some people weren't so transparent. What kind of an election is that? And then you wonder why unions across America have an image of being corrupt. You wonder why. You don't have to wonder why. Look at our own union. There's a possibility that sometimes, listen to my words carefully, there's a possibility that sometimes we don't do things right. Moving on. Oh, right here, the new election for VP of bargaining. Now listen to what they did. They sent the email out to tell you, including a new member cutoff date of June 15th. They never told you the cutoff date to become a dues-paying member prior to the new election for VP of bargaining. No, they didn't. No, they did not. Listen to this. Now, this email you can see quite clearly. And it says here, where does it say that? I'm looking for it. Here it is. By motion of the Local 1000 Elections Committee, only active members. Now check this out. I think they violated the policy file on this. In good standing as of June 15th. In good standing. Well, how do you get in good standing? Your money has to be received. But that policy file says, once you sign up an application and the MRC receives it, you're in good standing. But see, they tell you that I don't listen and I don't read and I can't comprehend and I'm not articulate and that I'm crazy. No, I'm not. You want to play word games with me? Bring it. But with love and respect, because it's the holidays. All right. So we'll keep moving on here. But they clearly tell you this. All right. And so there's 55,900 in state employees. That's the number of ballots that went out. Now listen to this. They say in this report, Mr. Gonzalez-Koch report, newly elected President Richard Louis Brown, who assumed office and made changes to the election and protest committees. What they don't tell you is, they didn't tell me that initially, on June 30th when I swore in. Oh no, they did not. I was not informed to June 16th. He said, Richard, we don't trust you. Don't have to. Trust this email. Trust this email. I'm laying it all out, what happened. Moving on. All right. The cost of this election, redo election for VP of bargaining, $365,000. $365,000. $365,000 for something that should have been caught from day one. And they tell you in this report, he tries to find fault on transparency, communications, information technology, and social media. Then why did we hire you for, Paul Koch? What were you doing? Where's your transparency at? Now, here's the funny thing about this. We have his name wrong. Mr. Gonzalez-Koch. Here's the funny thing about it. He's trying to find fault, as I say, his rationalization for all of this different issues. Transparency, communications, information technology, and social media. He's been doing this election since 2011. But now he wants to find fault. Well, he wasn't talking in 2011. He didn't talk in 2015. He didn't talk in 2018. You didn't see him on Facebook running his mouth. I'm confused. What happened? What changed? Let me stop. All right, I'll keep going. Enough. I'm done. All right, so I think you got the message. I'm trying to laugh this off because it hurts. The truth hurts. And, oh boy. The truth really hurts when I do what? Okay. The truth really hurts when you have to expose people. And, well, thank you, Key. Look at you, Key. Look at you. Get your mic on. So listen, the truth hurts when you have to expose people. And when you see me, and you're trying to understand why are they saying all these things about me, I'm trying to give out my best holiday cheer while I expose some of these flaws in our union. And as you can see, where does it go at here? This elections vendor, Mr. Gonzalez-Koch, he tried to blame the contract department. That's what he tried to do. He tried to blame them. He's trying to blame everybody, but he does not want to accept responsibility for running a flawed election process where he's in charge. That's what he's doing. And so the reason I have to point this out is this has been on my mind for a long time. And I'm going to start to show you things about people in this union. Now, he's not a dues-paying member. He did serve the state of California. Yes, he did. And he was a former dues-paying member. He has a very remarkable career for Local 1000 in some people's eyes. But Mr. Gonzalez-Koch cost us $365,000 for a simple, common sense mistake that should have been caught from the very beginning. And so now he's trying to cast blame on the former chief of staff and on the communications department and on IT. And you don't want to mess with IT here at Local 1000. I hope they're watching. I got their back. He's trying to find fault with everybody else, but instead of accepting the full responsibility that he cost this union $365,000. And so when they tell you that I've cost the union $51,000 for the Lansing County rally to protect our represent employees up in Lansing County at CCC, and we've still fought that off successfully, that prison has not closed. That was a problem. When we're trying to give you information on CalPERS, $55,000 in total cost, they tell you that was a problem. But what they don't tell you is that $365,000 that a vendor cost us that could have been easily prevented, they don't want to talk about that part. But now we're going to put this up on our website, and you'll be able to look through it yourself and make your own opinion, make an informed opinion. And then when you talk to Mr. Gonzalez-Coke, if you meet him out in public, or if you talk to him on Facebook, you can ask him about that nearly 439,000 or 479,000? What was that exact number? I can't even remember. Anyway, all that money we paid him since 2011. I think we paid him in 2010 as well. I can't get a hold of those numbers. But we paid him all this money. All of this money. I'll make sure I get that number right. $439,700. We paid him almost $440. Sounds like a nightclub. $440,000 for his leadership, his expertise. But you know what? I would say respectfully that people make mistakes. You know, Paul made a mistake. That's what he did. All right. I'm going to start to take questions. Should be a fun night. I'm looking forward to it. Let's get it going. Who's the first person up? Who?
Frankie.
Uh-oh. Good evening, Frankie. Good evening. I see you, Frankie.
Good evening. Am I unmuted now?
You are unmuted.
Wonderful. So up here in 792,
Okay.
I'm the Chief Steward, Lassen County.
All right.
Thank you very much for your support up here.
I got you covered.
And I wanted to reach out and give you a great thank you and appreciation for all of the assistance. We actually just had one of our AST trainings that was specific to CDCR, which assisted our stewards. And also with the representative that we currently have, Miss Joyce Thomas Villaranga, we are able to get our DLC back in order some, and we're gaining strength with management to make sure our contract is followed. And without that, without you, our DLC would not be here. So I wanted to thank you from all of my stewards and my members up here in Lassen County for all of your support and assistance in what we have accomplished just in the short few months that we've been here.
Chief Steward, 792, Frankie Lou Allen. I want to thank you. I want to thank Lassen County for believing in me. And, you know, I know a lot of people thought that that prison, CCC, was going to close immediately. Well, that's not happening because Lassen County didn't lose hope. And I didn't lose hope either. And even though I'm way down here in Sacramento, when I told you and I told the others in Lassen County, I said, I love you. And you were like, well, you probably tell everybody that you love them. No, I don't. No, I don't. I may say I like you, but when I say I love you, that means I'm loving you for life. And that's what I mean. And by the way, December 10th, I read my emails today. See, December 10th, you may see someone. You know, I may have to, you know, get in our Local 1000 airplane and fly up there. I'm sorry, not our airplane, our helicopter. Yeah. I'm saying our helicopter because you know that's going to go on Facebook that I've taken the money, bought a helicopter, and now I'm going to Lassen County. I bought an airplane and traded it in for the helicopter, which was a downgrade, so that's a bad financial decision. Whatever. Moving on. Thank you. Next caller. Good evening, Frank. How are you?
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Frank Askin. I am a Unit 1 IT CBER from DLC 787. Mr. President, on or before November 17th or November 16th, at approximately 11:50 a.m. Did you or did you not receive an email from the chairman of the Local 1000 board, Mr. Bill Hall, asking you to restore Vice President for organizing Irene Green's access and restore her credit card for use?
You know, Frank, I'm pretty good with dates and times and financial figures, but you got me on this one. I received an email by someone who claimed to be the chair of Local 1000. And I say claim to be because I'm the president. There is no chair of Local 1000. Be rest assured of that. In fact, you'll be so rest assured that when the SBAC is going on, you'll see me. In fact,
Okay, well-
hold on, let me finish, because I'll let you finish. In fact, you'll know that I'm the president because I'll bet 50 cents for charity that you'll show up at this scheduled board meeting on the 18th and 19th of December in downtown Sacramento at 300 J Street, the Holiday Inn. Tell all your friends, because I'm telling all my friends, to show up. And I'm the president and I'm calling for the meeting. So when you say about someone claiming to be the chair, I don't know who that is, because there is no chair. But more importantly, let's talk about your friend Irene Green. That's the important thing. She's the VP of bargaining. She was duly elected on 2 different occasions, and she should not have had to run a second time. I just talked about that up here. Now, you say, Richard, did you suspend her? No, she's not suspended. Can she come inside the building? No, because for the safety, for my safety, I feel threatened. I feel like my life is under attack. They tried to take my powers from me at this illegal, out-of-order insurrectionist board meeting. Insurrectionist in my mind is you're trying to kill me. The dictionary of insurrection may tell you something different. So before you say, well, you're using insurrection wrong, okay. So I'm trying to protect myself and protect the staff. The staff doesn't know what's going on. But I have reassured them that I'm the president. So when Irene went to an out-of-order, illegal, improper board meeting, and then she decided to run for chair and lost, you know, Sacramento Bee said that, Richard, you brought this on yourself. Actually, I think Irene Green brought this on herself. To be quite honest with you. She didn't go to the board meeting to gather information. And I pleaded, oh, Irene, please don't go. Please don't go to that illegal out-of-order board meeting, because I sent the email telling those who go they could face possible suspension. I said it in my nicest voice and my nicest email. But she went anyway. Quite a few of those people went anyway. Well, how do you know? Well, look at the meeting notes that they provided. Look up on our website. It's all transparent.
Okay,
So
well,
that's
thank
why-
you very
so
much,
that's why
Mr.
she's-
President.
I'm sorry,
Thank
sir.
you very much, and I
Okay.
want to give a huge shout out to Mr. Michael Gus. I see you out there, Michael Gus, and
Oh,
I agree
boy.
with Michael Gus. I think you should resign as president.
You know what? Hey, now listen,
Let's go,
Frank.
Michael Gus.
Well, listen, Frank. Listen, before you get off, I know a lot of people want me to go away. You know, they consider me like the COVID virus. They just want me to disappear, like I was never here. And I respect that, because in this great country, you can yell and scream and call me all kinds of names because you have the freedom to speak your mind, even when I don't agree with it. And I serve this country. You're welcome. I serve this country so that you can call in front of everyone and say, Richard, resign. Leave my union. You're no good. And that's why I serve this country. I serve this country so even people who belong to the Aryan Nation and the Ku Klux Klan and all these other, quote, racist organizations, so they can walk around with their chest poked out peacefully, peacefully, and they can walk around and say the N-word and do everything they want to do. And they do. Because I'm a veteran. And so I'm glad I serve this country so I can allow someone like you to come on Facebook and say, Richard, I don't respect the will of the voters of Local 1000. And Richard, I'm not really a hypocrite, but I kind of am. Thanks for your time. Thanks. Next caller. Hi, Carolyn. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing better. I'm doing much better.
Okay. It's been brought to my attention that the bargaining unit chairs have been locked out of the SEIU Local 1000 office buildings.
Right.
I am asking for you to shed some clarity on why this has happened and when we can expect for the bargaining chairs to be allowed back into the offices to do their work.
Hey, you know what, Carolyn? I'm so glad that you called in and asked that question. Because it goes back to the illegal and out of order board meeting. First, when I started, the chairs never really came to work anyway. You know, they were all teleworking. In fact, I'm glad you brought this up because it highlights the fight that Local 1000 is having to ensure that all of our state employees have the ability to telework and not be forced to come to work. All the bunk chairs have not been locked out. They haven't.
Can you tell me which ones are
No, I
allowed?
can't tell you. I can't tell you which ones because I don't have all the names in front of me. But if you want to look up on our website to those who attended the illegal out of order meeting, there's a possibility they may have been locked out, but they already knew when they went to the illegal meeting that they faced possible suspension. But before that even happened, they were working from home anyway. So I'm glad that you called to ask about that. And nothing. Hold on, let me finish. No one is stopping the bunk chairs from doing their job. No one. So if they decided to go to that meeting and strip me of my powers, when they were told to not do that, because the meeting was illegal and out of order, and they chose to undermine my authority as the president, that's what they chose. So in a sense, they kind of brought this on themselves. Thanks for your time, though. Next caller. Oh, my main man, Michael Gus. Been waiting on you, Michael. I've been waiting on you. Come on through.
So, number one, you said $440,000, but it was over 10 years, so I did it a little math.
Sounds good.
440,000 divided by 10 is 44,000 a year.
Okay.
Seems like Mr. Gonzalez Coke could use a union because that's not a very high salary.
Nice spin.
Number two, let me finish,
Okay.
then I'll listen to you. Number two, I think your little speech cost us way more than $360,000. There is such a thing in California as the tort of defamation.
Okay.
This is a lawsuit-happy state.
Okay.
I think you ought to rein it in. Number three, if we had effective representation, especially an effective relationship with the governor's office, which we do not. You know, with inflation going up 5-6% and the state having all sorts of money, we might be able to get a raise to deal with inflation. But that's not going to happen as long as what's going on is going on. No, number four, it's imperative for the board of directors, which is an equally elected body, that's under the Democratic/Republican principle, you know, small d and small r,
Right.
of separation of powers, to be respected. You are not elected dictator of this union.
That's right.
The board of directors was independently elected. They represent us. I talk to my DLC president on a monthly basis or so. That's their job. They hear from us. They're reflecting what they hear. You may not like that, but they're doing their jobs. And you can't lock certain bargaining unit chairs out so we don't get a raise. You can't do this because it offends you. You can't, try to settle scores when it puts us as an organization at risk of legal action, which is what happened tonight. And there is a provision in the SEIU International Constitution, which I read, and I encourage all the people, Frank Askin, and the person who came before me, and I'm sorry I didn't get your name. I encourage everyone to read Article 17 of the SEIU International Constitution, because they did think about situations like this. And it's time that I'm going to say it right now, it's time that SEIU International President Mary Kay Henry
Right.
step in and mediate this.
Right. So,
Because this is one of the
Okay, so you-
largest locals, and we're going down the drain.
right. So let
and
me
it's
hold on.
hurting
You've had
workers
2
and our
minutes.
livelihood.
You've had 2
Thank you.
minutes. You've had 2 minutes. Thank you, Michael. So let's address Michael Gus. I've been waiting on him to call. First off, you missed last week's PowerPoint. Oh, no, you didn't. You just don't want to acknowledge it. That PowerPoint told you, the people that responded to it, that the DLC presidents are not representing their membership. But you don't like facts. Here's another fact for you. You want to talk about the effective relationship with a governor. Last time I checked, the former president had a beautiful relationship with the governor. It was so beautiful, it cost us 2 days of pay for a whole fiscal period, and we were scheduled for another fiscal period, since you want to talk about the effective, beautiful relationship. That relationship was established before I got here. If that relationship was so beautiful, then why didn't she get the essential worker premium pay that would have guaranteed her re-election, since you want to talk a little bit? You know, Michael, now you want to talk about international. Oh, I've been waiting on that. So, Michael, are you saying that DLC President 744 Bill Hall or DLC 786 President Teresa Taylor, are they getting legal advice from international? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that international is interfering with a local's business? Since you want to talk facts. And you talked about lawsuits. Let me tell you something. You may scare people with those lawsuits. You and Kevin Healy, DLC 752 President Kevin Healy, DLC 767 President Richard Wake. Let me tell you something. You may intimidate some people with that stuff. All right? God's with me through Jesus Christ. So bring your lawsuits and do whatever you got to do, because you don't have a ground to stand on. And if you really thought you were so sincere, if I was really doing such a bad job, Michael Gus, then why did you fill out this cope? See, I was waiting on you to show up tonight. See, you do all that talk here on Facebook, but here you are eagerly filling out cope. That's what you're doing. I have it right here in front of me, Michael Gus. So if I was trying to create this detriment, this atrocity to destroy Local 1000, then why are you filling out this cope? Or are you trying to fill out the cope to help Mary Kay Henry to influence her to come get involved in this internal politics of Local 1000? Because maybe you didn't read the charter agreement carefully enough. Because international can't get involved in the local's business. But you want to be the smartest person on Facebook. You and a few other you so-called Local 1000 wannabe leaders. I still love you, though. I still love you. And you thought when you came at me months ago about the Human Rights Committee and the things that you said to me, well, let me tell you something. You thought you could roll me. Well, I got a Jewish cat right here sitting next to me, waiting on you too.
That's right.
You heard what he said? He said, that's right. So maybe y'all go to the same synagogue. I don't know. You want to act funny, Michael Gus? You got the right one. But I still love you anyway, and this Local 1000 will stay strong, and I will stay the president. That's a promise. So do your homework, because I know that around the clock, you don't care about increasing this dues paying membership. You don't care about anything. The only thing you care about, along with these other so-called Local 1000 leaders, some of them, is to run me out of office. But I still love you because the God that I serve commands me to love my enemies. Moving on. Next caller. DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me this evening?
Yes, I can.
All
I
right.
thank you for your service, number one. I
Very
am
welcome.
Mary Dela Cruz, DLC President for 772, and I'm proud to serve the members in my area. I want to not only thank you for your service, but I want to thank you for your service as leadership and president of SEIU, because I too am in fear, Richard, and thank you for leading the charge, because some of these board of directors, as your PowerPoint last week showed, they do not represent the voice of the members. And I am in fear as well that they will go to this SBAC or this board of directors in their own voices and not speaking the voice of the members, which they've done for decades. You know, Richard, historically, if you look, we used to have members that used to, if there was an issue with the board, they would throw it out to the membership to vote. That slowly got carved away, Richard.
Right.
And these not, you know, they say the board of directors got elected, as your PowerPoint showed. They didn't get elected. They got put in there, and they're gonna say now that they're speaking for the members. I can tell you that per your PowerPoint, that Survey Monkey, we know now for a fact they do not speak for the membership. That being said, I'm in fear because these people that want access, they want access to our system to do what? They're not representing the voice of our members. And my question is, thank you for the PowerPoint tonight. We talked about the contracted service for non-union friendly. Did the board of directors approve that? Was the last administration, did they bring that to the board of directors and they approved that? Because that's a violation. I want to know, when did this emergency meeting come up and their opinion? So, you know, I'm concerned, I'm in fear, Richard, about what this
Listen,
board of directors may do.
listen. DLC 772 President Mary Dela Cruz. Let me tell you something. I've had calls from people telling me that they're in fear, that they want to come to the board of directors meeting on December 18th and December 19th, you know, between 8 and 3, 300 J Street at the Holiday Inn downtown. But they're in fear. And you know what I tell them? You don't have to be in fear. I'll be there. If they try to do anything against you, grab me and throw me in front of it. Don't worry about me running the meeting. Just come and grab me by the collar, pull me down and say, hey, so-and-so is trying to intimidate me. Now don't worry, when you grab me, everything's gonna be okay. Because God is good. God is good. All the time, God is good. You don't have to be in fear. See, our union has been in fear of these, quote, politicians for how many years? Too long to count. That's why we always lose money. And they tell you that these politicians are our bosses because we fear these politicians. I don't fear no politician. He needs, or she needs my vote to stay in office or even get to office. Somehow, this idea of fear has been part of the DNA of Local 1000 for too many years. And now you got a leader who has no fear. And I know a lot of people don't like my mouth, they don't like my actions, and they don't like my tactics. But you know what that is really about. Come on now, this is America. You know how my family got over here. Moving on, Vincent Green.
Good evening, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing great, Vincent. How are you?
I'm doing okay, but I have a little concerns, and
Okay.
just wanted to, voice those concerns and get your input. First of all, I want to turn around and say I understand that you have a team, per se, coming out to Calvet this week, and just wanted to let you know the building that they're going to is mostly teleworking. Okay? And not, but as I've been reporting for like the last year almost, there's still constant outbreaks of COVID. So for you to have a team to go out to Calvet might not be a really good thing to do.
Wait, I have a quick question before you continue on. When you say a team is going to Calvet, if I remember correctly, I approved an expense because Irene is still doing her job, and she went up to speak to Calvet and Reading. So were they also on telework?
But the homes are different, and we can have
Oh,
this.
okay.
We can have this conversation offline.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
About HQ on O Street.
Okay, I got you.
And and like I said, I've been reporting outbreaks at O Street for like the last year, and we just had one this week.
All right.
So it might be the most healthiest decision to go to O Street at this point in time.
And I will make sure that whoever, well, I want to ask you for the names. I'll find out who this team is, and then I'll make sure I pass that message. Thank you very much for letting me know that. I deeply appreciate it.
My second point is this.
Okay.
You know, you just got finished talking about Irene. And the reason why, one of the reasons why you locked her out, I understand, is that you were afraid. Now, you know, not a lot of people understand, Richard, that your relationship with Irene goes back years. You know Irene. You know Irene. And when you talk about being in fear, you know, I would just want to impress on you, because you have said a couple times now you believe in God and Jesus Christ. Well, that's true. We don't live in fear. We don't live in the spirit of fear. If you are right, if you are correct, there's nothing for you to be afraid of. So to have her locked out because you are afraid doesn't make much sense to me on a spiritual point of view. Okay, and I'm not coming after you.
Right.
Richard, if I was to come after you, you would know it. And
I
you
know it.
that.
I know that. I know that. And I know that, Vincent, you know, and I know how you conduct yourself and how you carry yourself as an African American man in this country. I know that well. And you also know that if you come after me, you know I have no fear. I'm gonna come right back at you. But you have given me that utmost respect as black men, you know, having conversations with other black men out in the open, in public. Message received. I got it.
So I'm just saying that, you know what? You know, trust me.
Right.
Believe me when I say that if anybody should be afraid of Irene, it's probably me. Okay?
Fair enough. Yes, I agree.
Okay? But, you know, if anybody else knows Irene, has personally talked to Irene, has been in Irene's presence, you know, to be afraid of her, it might not be the, you know, I want to say that you misspoke. I want to give you that grace, because like you said earlier, words matter. So when you come and say, well, you know, I'm afraid, I'm like, why?
Well, if you, one quick thing, the word fear did not come from my mouth. It came out of DLC 772 Mary De La Cruz's mouth. What I said was afraid was, I want to make sure I'm able to protect the staff and protect the people that I work with. And I'm sorry, go ahead.
That you were afraid. And then
right,
you went
but I didn't say fear. I said, I'm afraid for the staff. I'm not afraid for my welfare, because I'm from St. Louis, so I get in where I fit in.
Again,
all right.
With her, and
right.
She knows, not real sure where that fear is coming in at, Richard. Like I said, you know, again, you know, if she had given you pause to be afraid for the staff, she would have did it a long time ago, and you would have known that even before you took office, because of the relationship that you have with her. You know, like I said, you know, that story is for you to tell. That story is for Irene to tell. But I'm saying that, you know what? Hey, look, if you're going to be transparent,
right?
Be.
So, you know, and here's what I'll say really quickly before I go to the next caller. You're right. Irene does know me. And there's not much I can do to ever fool Irene Green. So, but she also knows how to win me over too. And then I'll stop talking. Okay, next caller. Live transcription? Okay, Marcus Gallagher. I'm sorry, wait a minute. Mike Ramos. Hello, Mike. I won't call you Michael.
Thank you very much for paying attention to that. I appreciate it. That's why on the first day we spoke, I asked how you wanted to be addressed, and you said, call me Richard. I said, call me Mike. Thank you very much for that. You know, I sit here and I listen to all the comments, and the PowerPoint was one that kind of rang true to me last week. You know, and it got me thinking on a couple things. I'm going to apply a couple to you. You know, you say that you're worried about the safety of all the staff. So that being said, did you survey all the staff and ask them if they were in fear of Irene and the bunk chairs?
Did I survey? So are you asking, did I give out a survey monkey? No, I speak to the staff that comes in. So
And the
I
staff said,
don't-
hey, Richard,
First
you
of
need to
all-
lock out Irene and the bunk
Wait a
chairs
minute.
because I'm afraid for my life.
Mike,
Yes, sir.
please don't put words in my mouth. Second, when I have conversations with the staff, I am not going to tell you every word that they tell me about our dues paying members and our represented employees, because you may not like what you hear. All right, what else do you like to make a comment on?
Well, I want to stick with that PowerPoint because
The
I made
PowerPoint
a
from last
point-
week or the PowerPoint?
Last week, because this week,
Okay.
you know, I love PowerPoints. They're very exciting. I spoke to my DLC president about that. You know, I said, so how do we survey the members? She said, well, we have our DLC meetings, which I'm attend all of them. But the challenge is she doesn't have all the proper communication to reach out to the members in the DLC to get their feedback opinion. So what tools are you going to give the DLC president so that they can survey their members and be more proactive?
So Mike, that's a great question.
That's what I'm here for. Great questions.
Okay. So they get the DLC presidents get the same love and respect that the former president gave them. I haven't changed that at all. So the communications department does their job. Are you saying the communications department is not doing their job? Is that what you're saying about the communications department?
Well, let me quote your quote, don't put words in my mouth.
Okay. I'll back
With that
up.
being
I'll back
said-
up. Okay.
You have a member who's part of a very active DLC
Okay.
who has spoken to his president
Okay.
saying you bring up a PowerPoint of, you know, presidents are acting on their own, they're not surveying their people. So you said you're someone to change the status quo, but you just said you're remaining in the status quo.
No, what I simply said when I ran on my campaign, words matter. Create. I don't say change anything, because you can't change what you never had. So I say
No, you
create.
said change the status quo.
Wait a minute. My campaign, anyone who paid attention to it knows that I don't use the word change. Members for Transparency and Change, that's their word they used from 2015, a word they got from me in my 2015 campaign election. Let's change our union through courage, integrity, and vision, through transparency, since you want to talk tonight. Now, back to
No, I'm
what you,
actually
hold on,
listening.
wait a minute. Now back to what you said about the communications department, or you're saying that people were not being notified. Well, that's funny. People were notified of that survey. Did you get the survey? Did you respond to the survey? Yes or no?
Which survey?
Did you take the survey?
Which survey?
The survey we're talking about from last week on the PowerPoint. The DLC president survey. Did you take that survey? Did you get that in the email?
Absolutely.
Thank you for filling. Did you fill it out?
I got the survey, I filled it out. That's the term, absolutely.
Thank you very much. So since
You're
you
welcome very much.
Okay, so since you filled out that survey monkey, but now you're telling me that you didn't get the other stuff from your DLC president. So which one is it?
I'm telling you that my president's saying, I want to survey the membership. I want to do what you're saying in your PowerPoint, but the tools are not available. And previously, you had said that the status quo, you insert your word in, whatever you choose, since you don't want to use the word change, that you were going to blank the status quo. But now you're saying that it is still just the status quo.
No, what I told you is the same love and respect that the former president gave to help the DLC presidents communicate with their people, I have not stopped. That's what I said. So don't come on here trying to change up my words and trying to come at me with this. Next
I'm
caller.
not coming
next
on here
caller.
coming at you.
Next caller, please. We're moving on.
I'm saying.
Happy holidays to you. Moving on. Moving on. Not tonight. Not tonight. All right, Marcus Gallagher. Let's get it.
So I'm kind of like tired of hearing about this, but is Irene Green and the other people who are locked out, are they still able to do what they were elected to do?
Absolutely.
So
She wasn't. And wait. Hold on, Marcus. And I've never said this because I don't like talking about people's business. But let me just say it to you like this: the same desire for us to telework and come to work when we want, the VPs have that same luxury. And I'm not going, let me finish. I'm not going to tell you how many days that our VP of bargaining, Irene Green, came in after she was sworn in versus how many days she worked from home. I'm not going to tell you. She is able to do her job, period. Your next comment, sir.
Okay, so then I don't know why they need access to the building, but I'm just kind of worried that if, you know, they're not able to do their job, which you just said that they are, so
Yes.
we're good, then we're not going to get, you know, important things done. We're
No,
just going to keep revisiting the same conversation all the time.
Listen, Marcus, they run this, quote, game, this narrative that the union can't function because I'm the president, and now they can't function because, quote, some people were locked out of the building, and these people were never coming to the building to begin with, and they've been doing their job to begin with. And before I even arrived on the scene, that telephone agreement that should have been done, conversation started September 2020, never got done. So the former VP of bargaining, what was he or she doing? Who knows? What were these bunk chairs doing to ensure that the essential worker premium pay was done when the money was there in January of 2021? Who knows? And all these problems that's been going on before I arrived on the scene on June 30th, what were they doing? Who knows? Next caller. Sylvia Castro.
Richard.
Hi,
My
how are
name is
you?
Sylvia Castro. I'm the treasurer at DLC 772, Mary Del Cruz. And I also just wanted to say I don't get an opportunity to say it because it seems like you get inundated with a lot of negative comments. But I honestly, like from the very beginning, and I know you've heard this from other people, you know, I didn't vote for you, but the reason why I didn't vote for you is because I didn't know you. And, you know, when you know somebody, you vote for, you know, who your friends are.
Right.
But it doesn't mean that I'm against you. I mean, I have to admit, you know, at first I didn't know what to think. But in recognizing that there was a change in leadership that had been there for such a long time, and that really the election was not, was more of a statement in that the members, it's obvious the members wanted change. The members wanted new leadership. And that's what I see. And the fact that they're trying to take it away from you, i.e. the members, you know, take that right to make that choice is wrong. And I understand why you know, Irene is in this position that she's in. I mean,
Right.
that's unfortunate. But I don't know if I understand how you feel. I don't know how I'd feel working with somebody who is supposed to be working as a group collaboratively, but yet they were conspiring behind your back. I don't think people stop to think about the dynamics of that. It makes the ability to work with somebody very difficult. So I really hope that they consider that. I mean, I remember hearing a certain bunk chair say that, you know, just because you don't like somebody doesn't mean you stop working with them or you try to kick them out. You should try to do your best to work with them and work things out as you go. And that's kind of the attitude, you know, I take, you know, every day, even in my own DLC. And I recognize that you are the president, not anybody else who's trying to circumvent that. That's just not how things should be done. That creates chaos, and that's not good. That's not good for the organization at all. You need to save and preserve the organization.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, I'm done.
So, first of all, DLC 772 Treasurer Sylvia Castro, thank you for calling in. You know, in my opinion, you have one of the best DLC presidents, one of the best. And I realize that a lot of people, I'm gonna be quite frank, most people who call in tonight are calling on these Zooms have not voted for me. And when I tell you that I won an election with not one vote from the board, I mean that. So the board didn't get me here, and the board's not gonna take me out. Now, that's a bold statement for me to make, and they'll hear that, and they'll use it for bulletin board material to come after me. But they're already coming after me anyway. So I'm always being told, don't throw kerosene on the fire. Let me tell you something. That fire's been burning from the time they announced on May 24th, 2021. That fire was already in full blaze. You know how I know? When I went up to Lansing County. That's when I found out what fire was really like. I said, oh, well, this reminds me where I just came from. Now, the Irene Green conspiring against me. She didn't have to conspire against me. I knew from the very beginning that she was going to go to the meeting. And even though we had 3 to 4 hours of excellent food at Bacon and Butter, South Broadway. No, Norford. Oh, I'm challenged. But it's on Broadway, over Stockton Boulevard. With some good food, Bacon and Butter, giving her a shout out. All right, now, I knew she was going to go. And so everything that she's done since the time she won both times, I'm not surprised at all. Because you heard what Vincent Green said. She knows me from the past, and I know her too. And I know a lot of things that I've kept my mouth shut on. And it is hard to work with someone who is conspiring, even though you already know what they're going to do. But we knew what she was going to do on August 29th at 1 p.m. when we saw who swore her in. We knew what time it was then, the former president, because she ran on her slate, so respect is respect. But she ran with the former president, so you know that Irene Green's not for me, and she never will be. And so when you say that, hey, you know, can you put your differences aside and work together? Well, the question I would ask the whole Local 1000 represent employees, including dues-paying members, is don't look at me very funny. Don't look at me and have an attitude. Look at your country. Don't walk up on me talking that madness when your federal government can't even work together right now. This country is split, not just racially, not just on COVID, not just on the right to bear arms, but on a whole lot of issues. We are a reflection of our country. You say, well, Richard, I challenge you to bring us together anyway. God, through Jesus Christ, I accept your challenge. But these people like to twist and turn words the same way Lucifer or the devil or Satan did in the Bible. You can't twist and turn your words with me and think it's going to be cool. It won't. And I can still forgive you for working against me. But a lot of people in this union who you think is supporting membership and growing membership, they're not. And that's what it is. And I have the audacity and the courage to tell you up front. And the way I acted in my campaign is the same way I act now. I didn't change up. I didn't get so high and mighty and so sophisticated and so eloquent. Well, I'll call you when time's convenient for me. When I was begging for votes, I was always calling you. Always returning your phone call when I was begging for votes. But this is the game that these so-called, some of these leaders play in this union. And they'll portray themselves as victims. But yet the cops was at my house at 5 o'clock in the morning on May 25th. Not at theirs. And you know, and everybody in this union and everybody in this room knows, when those cops came to my house on May 25th, 5 a.m. in the morning, on the false allegation, listen to how I say this, the false allegation, because you know I'm under the false allegation that there was a woman in my house screaming, and I'm a black man in this country. I could have lost my life like Breonna Taylor. Let me stop there. Moving on, thanks for your call though. Moving on, DLC 751 President Christina Evatt.
Good evening. Question for you. With the chairs lost out of the building, I have a couple of people on Facebook that are watching this, and one of them asked, are you talking about teleworking when we were under COVID and most of last year, everybody was teleworking? That's a question I'm being asked, so I'm asking you. This next question, would you want to answer, or you want me to just go through and say what I want to know first, and then you answer me?
What I would simply say is this. The people who went to that illegal board meeting were warned. So when they tell you on Facebook that they've been suspended and all this and that, where's the letter for their suspension? Show me the documented proof. Now, as the other caller, DLC 772 Secretary Treasurer Sylvia Castro just stated, it would be hard to work with someone who's conspiring to get rid of me. So what I'm doing is protecting the staff so they don't have to be involved in all this hoopla. These bunk chairs can still do their job from home. They've been working from home anyway, just like most of you have been working from home, unless you're behind those prison walls in CDCR, unless you're a custodian, unless you have a job that you have to go to work and put your life on the line. I'm sorry,
You
go
have
ahead.
you've got a lot of people that don't work for CDCR
Mm-hmm.
that go to work every day, DMV, Calvet,
That's right.
DOR, DGS.
That's right. That's
But
right.
my next question, the question wasn't about blocking them out. The question was, when you keep saying they were working from home,
Mm-hmm.
was this during COVID
Yes.
or
They were working from home during COVID, and they were
So-
working from home before I took over.
that was last year during COVID?
It's still. It was
That's-
this year when I got sworn in. They were still working from home.
Okay.
Yes, they were.
So my next question is, because if they are not allowed in the building, do they have SCIU 1000 email address?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
And they're
In
and
fact,
they're
in fact,
receiving?
hold on. DLC President 751, Christina Evans. I'm glad you brought that up. They still have access to their work emails. In fact, some of these bunk chairs are still on union leave full time on certain days, and some have full time union leave up to a certain point. But they don't tell you that on Facebook, do they? They do not.
I've got bunk chairs on my Facebook page,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't see any of them making comments. But I'm not here to discuss who's
Right.
saying what to face on Facebook.
Right. And they won't make comments.
I don't pay attention to most of what's
Right.
being said on Facebook.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on.
Everybody's
Wait a minute. Hold on, President Yvette. Wait a minute. You say you don't pay attention to what most is on Facebook, but yet you're talking about it at the same time. So you can't say that.
No, I said
Mm-hmm.
I have a couple of people watching this on Facebook, and they asked me a question,
Okay.
which I said I have my hand raised. I will
Right.
ask you. I'm watching you on Zoom.
Got you.
I said I don't pay attention to the back and forth stuff on Facebook. I pay attention to the majority of the emails that come, but
Right.
the stuff on Facebook, you can't keep. I don't try to keep up with it. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, they are pushing. They are posting." I mean, I don't pay it. Whatever.
But for Christina, here's the
But
problem.
all I wanted to know was if they still had email addresses.
They have
that
email
I'm
access.
People, I'm emailing.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten phone calls back, but I'm not getting emails back from you. I'm not getting emails back from Annika. I did speak with Annika on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to make sure that if I'm sending emails to people, they are getting them at the SCIU website. That's
They
all
are
I
getting
need to
their
know.
emails. Their email access is not blocked.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And listen, thank you for calling in. But you know, all these people, and not every single person, but 90% of what you see on Facebook is not true. And they've been talking about me on Facebook since May 24th. But you know what? You just hold on.
I have a question,
Yes, yes,
real quick.
sure.
How hard would it be to ignore the Facebook stuff?
You can't ignore it. And so here, let me explain this to you. When you have a flood that's trying to wash you out into the ocean, you cannot ignore the flood. You must address the flood. It's like addressing racism in this country. Don't act like it doesn't exist. It's like addressing sexism in this country. It's like addressing the fact that we lost 2 days of pay for no reason at all. Don't run from the problem, run to the problem. And anyone who has a problem, anyone who's overcome alcohol or drug addiction, they know what I'm talking about. Don't run from the problem. These people on Facebook are creating these lies and this gossip and these endless rumors to create the narrative so they can, quote, have the support for their illegal board meeting to strip me of my powers and to run me from office and to remove the voice of the people of Local 1000. You do not ignore that. You must address that. And I address that while I multitask as a state employee while fighting for the essential worker premium pay, making sure that petition is filled out and sent back to us while we're trying to fight for the great telework agreement, while we're also battling the COVID situation, while we're also fighting for those in Lansing County to protect their jobs, while we're also fighting for the fact that people are being disrespected in the workplace. I can multitask. Thank you for your call. Next caller. Veronica Guzman, how are you?
Hi, Richard. How are you?
I'm doing just great.
Good, good. Okay, so I have a question for you, and then I have a follow-up to whatever answer that you give. I've had several members reach out to me ever since they knew I was starting to get actively involved in the union. And the main question that they've all kind of asked collectively is, before this rogue meeting that the board of directors had, and I will call it a rogue meeting because that's what I think it is. And that's my opinion, respectfully, to the board. Did they ever reach out to you and say, hey, Richard, I know that we have differences. Can we work together? Can we come together? Have they ever at any time tried to work with you? That's my question. And once you answer, then I have a follow-up.
No.
Okay. So I don't know the figure exactly, but I'm going to assume there was like 23, 24, 25 of them. They want to talk and say that they represent the members, but there's over 2,000 people who voted for you. They're trying to take away the voice of those who went out and wanted change. They wanted to see something different. I don't think that's fair. I don't agree with it. I respect their passion for the union. However, the members have spoken. They don't want you to come out of office. They don't they don't represent us. They don't speak for all of us. These 23 people, 24, 25, I don't know, don't speak for the 2,000 plus who voted for you. And again, I've made it very clear I didn't vote for you, but you've earned my respect. I respect somebody who has a passion to see this union grow and be strong and fight for us and fight for equal pay. And I mean, you've reached a lot of people, and I would hate to think that this board wants to strip you from that, wants to strip the members of their vote. I don't agree with that, and many people don't agree with that. And I don't know when the elections are to get this board removed, but no, I hope that they're listening, that there are many people who are now coming out of the woodworks saying, how can we get involved? How can we do this? And, I've reached out to several people and I said, how do they do this? Well, when election time comes, be a steward, go be a DLC president, run against these people. And trust me when I say this, so many people have already reached out to me on how to get involved to be a steward because they want to do that. They want to run against these people. If these people think that they're trying to create what they think the union wants, I'm telling you right now, it's going to backfire. And I hope that once everyone listens to this, I still have hope that we can all come together, but I do know that I was told on Facebook, and I'm going to clarify this, I was told that members are not allowed and stewards are not allowed at this board of directors meeting, and I want you to answer that if we are allowed, because we want to speak up.
So, now, I hope that DLC 751 President Christina Evatt is still listening. See, there's so many people walking around here saying, don't worry about Facebook, Richard. You walk around, you say, don't worry about that, be above the fray. And I have told these people religiously, no, I'm not above the fray, I'm in the fray. Because that's how I got here. What you heard about stewards and other people, members, or representative employees not being able to come to this board meeting is an absolute lie. And that's the liars that you have on Facebook trying to create that narrative to remove me from office. These are liars. Capital L, capital I, capital A, R, capital R, and capital S. Why do I say liars with such intensity in all caps? Because that's what they are. And I don't mean to say it with a lack of love. I say liars with love. We have liars in Local 1000. We should call them the Local 1000 Liars Committee. Let's see, how's that work? Local 1000 Liars Committee. LLC. Fair enough. They're an LLC. You can quote me on that. These are liars. And you know who the liars are? Just ask for their membership card. Well, if they pay their dues. And I'm sure they do. But these people are lying. Now, let me tell you how this game works. I'll give you some inside knowledge. They don't want people to come to the board meeting in December. What they want to do is rush me, but not in a violent way, but in a peaceful way, but rush me and intimidate me. And what they'll do, they'll try to have somebody from International or somebody in a dark suit with dark glasses, you don't know who they are, and they're going to try to watch and say, oh, he's wrong, get him out of here. They don't want to expose themselves for who they are. You know this, Veronica. The whole world knows it. Anybody can show up to my meetings. I say pack a lunch and bring some friends. I'm going to have some friends. But bring it. Now, is that the St. Louis in me? I like to think it's the military in me. That's what I like to think. It's my service, my call to duty. I like action. Professional, peaceful, respectful. Question is, do they like the same action? As you will notice, well, wait a minute. And oh, gosh, oh, God's good tonight. Woo, 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 woo. Check this out. DLC Richard Wake. You gotta love him. DLC President 767 Richard Wake. Now listen to this. Today at 7:08 p.m., you're a bald-faced liar. A bald face. No, I got a goatee. And I usually wear a full beard. But he calls me a bald-faced liar. But I still love Richard because he has my name. I have to. Then he says, hey, coward, allow me on the call. I've requested it on my phone. He calls me a coward. Now, you saw me talk to him a few weeks ago. Did I look like I was afraid of Richard? In fact, it's funny that Richard is calling me the coward. Well, if I'm such a coward, why don't you come on down on December 18th and 19th? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you can't come down? Oh, you too afraid? You a coward? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, man, you ain't feeling good? Okay. People think that I've lost my mind. I tell people stuff, then they come around me, and then they see it happen. And then they get mad at me. Because they say, you told us this was going to happen. And then when it happens, they say, now I know you're crazy. I told you God sent me here. I can't make this stuff up. You can come. Vanessa, you bring your family. I mean, Veronica. You can bring your family. Hold on, where's that? Oh, I don't have it in front of me. Hold on a second. They want to talk all this garbage about me. Listen to this. Here's our purpose statement, Veronica. Local 1000 is a strong member-led union. The power of Local 1000, the purpose of Local 1000 is to have the power necessary to give our members and all Californians the opportunity to have a good life, live in sustainable communities, and enjoy the fruits of social, economic, and environmental justice. Richard's calling me right now. I guess I must have set him off. I'll finish this and then I'll call him right back. We will achieve this by engaging and developing our members and by creating strategic alliances with key leaders and organizations who share our purpose and values. I guess these key leaders don't believe in having secure contracts. I guess. But anyway, it says all Californians. But see, I'm confused. Maybe I'm crazy. I'm telling you, you can come down with your family. And then they tell you, well, no, you can't come down with your family unless you pay money. But even if you paid money and you're a dues-paying member, you still can't come down because you're not a job steward. But wait, we don't want the job stewards to come down because you're not on the board of directors. But the purpose statement says the power necessary to give all our members and all Californians. And all these Californians, they ain't paying us no money. Happy holidays. You know I'm not on next week, so I got to make the most of it tonight. Well, you know what? I may do it next week. I may do it by myself. You know, I may do it by myself next week. Because you know next week is Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And to those who do not celebrate Thanksgiving, I love you. I respect you. To my indigenous Native Americans, don't call and curse me out on my phone afterwards. I got the message. I've been reading the articles you put out in the newsletter to Local 1000. This is your month. I got the message. So whatever you do on that day, I salute you and I respect you. Okay, so anyway, that was the long way of me saying everybody can come down. Now, some people may say, well, hey, we don't want to come down. We'll just watch it because we know, Richard, you'll do it live. How do you know that I'm going to put that board of directors meeting live on the 18th and 19th? Are you just assuming that I'm going to do it live? What makes you think that? Did I tell you I was going to do it live? Has someone asked me yet? The question's coming. All right. Oh, Yolanda Williams. Good evening, Yolanda.
Good evening, Richard. I've been sat here for almost 2 hours and listened to everybody. And I have something to say. And please don't cut me off, Mr. Brown. Michael Gus. For one, I've been a member since I started 16 months ago. I have only spoken to my DLC twice. Second, I've emailed him in regards to bringing the membership up because I'm a steward and I'm trying to be active. It's been 2 weeks. He has yet to respond to my email. Okay? Now, as far as Mary Dela Cruz, I sure wish I was under her leadership because that is someone that I've seen on here several times, and she is definitely for the members. Veronica, she just spoke, and I'm just like, yeah, she spoke so eloquently in a sense to where we all need to stay with the fight. And the situation with everybody being fearful, if someone is not working with me, I may not be afraid of you, like afraid that you can do something to me, but you don't have my best interest at heart. So why would I, if I'm the president, let you come into the atmosphere and mess it up? If you already went against my authority and I begged you not to do it. It just doesn't make sense. And she may be good at what she does, Miss Irene Green. I don't know her, but you are the president, Mr. Brown. And it's that simple. You break the rules, you deal with the consequences. You put your finger on something hot, you're gonna get burned. That's it, simple. I just, I am just like really upset because they're at you. And I hate to hear this every time we come on here because you're doing your job, Mr. Brown. And I say Mr. Brown because I know I can say Richard, but right now I'm mad. I'm mad. I pay my money $65 a month. And I want somebody who works for me, who's trying to do something to make a change, who's willing to put their neck out, who's continuously trying to stay professional when people are going down his throat. It's sickening. It's sickening. And if we have a union and we're trying to make a better life, like it says on the back of that purple book, a sustaining life, have a man of integrity right there who's trying to get this essential pay. We need to stand behind him. Period. All this bickering and all this other stuff is crazy. If we stand together, if we all come together, and like he said, and he put it in there, he only won by so much, right? Okay, but he won. So if we all stand behind him, we can make this happen. Essential pay, it can happen, people. It can happen. Try it. Get everybody aboard. Stop going against each other. See what can happen. This guy and those people back there, the IT people, the workers that stand with him right now, it's almost 8 o'clock. These people are trying. So everybody, let's come on and get on board. Start passing out your flyers, do whatever. I'll start talking to people for this essential pay, teleworking. I can have the capability to telework, but my environment I can't because the supervisor. But there's a lot of people teleworking. You want that to stay that way? Let this man do his job. Let him go and fight for negotiation and do the things that he got to do. Stand behind Richard Brown. Period. That's all I got to say. All right, I'm done.
I can't add anything. She said it correctly. So I know we're running a little long. So I want to make sure that we get to Cheryl Butters, and then we're going to stop on Angela Pruitt. If it was left up to me, I can go for another hour. But people have lives and families. And just because I don't have one doesn't mean that you don't have one. All right, so Cheryl Butters, good evening.
Hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, so I just wanted to come on and share a little bit with everyone and with you too. But I personally don't understand what all the problems are. I'm not in that type of mix. I'm a DBER for Bargaining Unit 1. I work at CCI, and I'm a correctional case records analyst. And some of the people that are involved, I have a lot of respect for. So it's confusing to me to see the way that things are happening. But I just want to share what I do know. And that is, as a CCRA, a correctional case records analyst, we're a small classification. There's only 557 of us. And we have been underpaid for a long time, and I know everybody feels like they're underpaid. I get that. But there's a reason we feel this way, and there's a reason we know this. It's been going on for years. But we were unable to really get to where we need to be. There's been a fight going on actually since 1998. That's a long time to be fighting for a fair salary. And the previous leadership that we've had, we've asked for help and haven't received the help that we feel like we should get with our issue. We had a plan as a group of CCRAs as we meet and try to unify. We had a plan, and it was that plan was given to our previous president, and it was ignored. It was ignored when I emailed her the plan. It was ignored when two separate CCRAs on two different occasions asked her to please reply and respond, and it was still ignored. But when Richard came into presidency, he had already helped us by talking with us and calling a meeting with CDCR Secretary Kathleen Allison to rectify this, Kelly Jar and Labor Relations. And then on top of that, as we began to move even further forward, I presented that same plan to Richard, and he said, yes, do it. And we are on the road now going to every single CCRA worksite. And we are in our second week. We will be doing this for 5 weeks to hit every single CCRA worksite. And what we see and what we're experiencing is unbelievable and unexpected, because what we're experiencing are people that feel like they've been forgotten by their union. And just to see us there and to give them not only hope for their salary increase and what we have planned, but also hope in our union now. And that is only because of Richard and what he is allowing to happen right now. We didn't have that before. So we see people with hope now, with a little bit of excitement. In fact, one of the supervisors even came back to us after the CCRAs had left and said, I don't know what you guys talked about, but they sure are happy and excited. So, and people are excited about the union again. People have hope again in the union because we're out there, we're talking to them, we're seeing them, we're sharing with them, and we're showing them that the union is in action. And they haven't seen that in a long time. So I don't want to tell people how they should feel or what they should do, but we need to stop this. We need to stop this whining and bickering and complaining. And if it is over union time, it's ridiculous because I know that Richard gave us union time for a purpose. And I know that my DLC president asked for union time for a purpose and was granted. So I have to believe from what I see that if you have a purpose for union leave, and it's a good purpose, I'm sure it's going to be granted. Let's stop thinking we need to be on union leave full time. We need to be on union leave and be working. We need to be doing the union work, not just on union time full time. There's got to be a plan and a reason. That's my thought. But anyway, we're just thankful that we are out there, that we are sharing that hope and doing this action that is huge for us, and we have our new president to thank for it. So thank you.
Cheryl Butters, Deber. A lot of people don't know, well, first, thank you for calling in. A lot of people don't know about certain things that I do for people. So when I do this Facebook Live, it appears that I'm animated and just talking a gang of stuff, arguing with people, arguing with the haters. And I have told people repeatedly, I multitask. I'm a state employee. I can do my job and still make my boss look good. Well, should I say management team? Because each one has to feel like they're the star in my life. It's kind of funny. I feel like I'm still on my regular job. So anyway, I am so glad that you and your fellow CCRAs are in communication with the other CCRAs, and that fight since 1998. We must resolve this. I don't tell people about union leave and how I've helped people on union leave. I just don't talk about it. And there are DLC presidents who have gotten union leave from me, but they don't say anything. And some of these DLC presidents actually went to the illegal out-of-order board meeting. And while they were doing all this talk about me, they were getting union leave approved by me, but they don't tell you that part. See, that part doesn't make it to Facebook. The part about the CCRAs, that part doesn't make it to Facebook. The part about the health facilities evaluator nurses, that part doesn't make it to Facebook. I've done quite a few things for people, but I don't talk about it. I'll talk about all the battles, because it's easy to talk about the great things that are being done, even with the COVID victories. And even though they weren't perfect victories, there are still victories. In fact, we have a PERB expedited meeting concerning the healthcare workers in CDCR. I have not forgotten you, CDCR, and how they're trying to make you get vaccinated. Can I get you the perfect deal? I don't know if I can get you a perfect deal because I'm not a perfect person, but I'm gonna give you everything I got. And the same for the N95. I guess I got word this morning they stopped the N95. Federal OSHA said an employee with 100 employees or more, you can't force the N95.
No, the COVID vaccine.
I'm sorry.
The testing.
The COVID testing for an employer with 100 more employees, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are getting victories in the union, but I know it seems like we're not, because as my communications department tells me, you must talk about these victories, Richard.
Mm-hmm.
I want to. I do. But I know that the haters are coming. And so I like to address the lies before we can talk about the good things. Because if I don't talk about the lies and clear that air, But I talk about all the things I'm doing, but the lies continue. Then they'll say, yeah, he's doing some good things, but these lies are more than the good things that he's doing. So I always call out these lies. And that's why we're in this situation where it appears that we're just bickering. But that's not an appearance. This is a family. And you know, in your family, there are certain people, you know, you do the best you can. You know, you see them in the holidays, hey, how you doing? Give out that fake smile, and then you grab your food and go kiss mom or grandmother and go to the other side of the table, because you know it's not happening. And even mom and grandma know, keep so-and-so apart, because it's not going to work. Unfortunately, the situation in Local 1000, it appears that the board can never make peace with me, because they'll never respect the victory. When I say the board, I'm not saying all 65, including the bunk chairs and the statewide officers. I'm saying some of the board will never work with me. How do I know? Because you can see the action that they've been trying to take place, the action they took place on the 16th and 17th, which means they don't respect me and they don't respect the position that I have. And I can be very nice, and I have been very nice to people, but you don't hear much about it. If I make 2 good decisions, you let me make just a half a bad decision, and they'll take that half and put it over the 2. And then the people who support me say, well, Richard, don't give them anything. When they're coming to get you, you don't have to give them anything. They're coming regardless. So buckle up and get ready. But once we're able to come together in this union, and it will happen, that 21% pay increase across the board for everyone equally that you think is impossible, wrong answer. See, a lot of people in this union would vote, and they said that their vote didn't matter. Your vote always matters. Now, they're trying to take away that vote, but we're not going to allow that to happen. So you can't lose hope. And so people criticize me for saying, don't stop believing. Journey's in the Hall of Fame. They never stopped believing. They said the wheel in the sky keeps on turning. And faithfully, they held their ground. Y'all say, well, y'all don't want to hear that Journey song. Y'all don't care about Journey. Let me tell you something. Don't ever go against Journey. You don't go against those Hall of Famers. No, you don't. And I keep my head to the sky. I keep my head to the sky because the clouds will tell me why. These elements of earth, wind, and fire, I left out water, but some of y'all know what I'm saying. They're in the Hall of Fame too, but y'all say I'm crazy. I'm not crazy. I know exactly what I'm doing. And these people, these haters, you're walking right into my trap. You're walking right into my trap. If you only knew how much information I have on you. You said, well, we have information on you. No, the world has information on me. The world, because I've never hid anything. But you do things in secrecy, in back rooms, because that was the status quo of Local 1000. All right, we're going to end this with Angela Pruitt. And then I'm going to give you my famous spill at the end. Just wait, because I always hold the best stuff for last. Angela Pruitt, go right ahead.
Hey, Richard.
Hi.
I'm tired. How are you?
You know what? I'm wide awake.
I don't know how, because I couldn't take this that you taking. Listen, first of all, I want to say kudos to Yolanda and Mary Dela Cruz and the other people who spoke on your behalf and gave you the praises that you really are worthy of. So I want to just tell them that. Michael Gus left. I'm glad. So here's the thing. Where the hell do Richard Wake get off at coming on your cell phone, have the audacity to call you a damn coward? He the coward. Was he on the? I didn't see his hand raised. Let me on this call, you coward. See, you know what? I'm gonna take my hat off to you. Because somebody talking to me like that needs to come see me. Come see me, stand in my face and be that damn brave. I can't do what you doing. That's why you the president and I'm not. I ain't gonna never be the president because my ass will probably be in jail. I'm just not gonna take what you take. I can't. This nonsense with all of this, and I'm gonna still call them crazy, because if you get your ass on here acting crazy, you crazy. You sitting up here, face all up in the damn camera, screaming and yelling and hollering. We want you to look. You just a damn fool. I want you to resign. Okay, well, we'll see you in December. We will see you in December. I'm not hiding from nobody. I don't fear nothing. I don't fear nothing but God himself. Any person that wants to see me, see me. I'm not going to do what Richard do. I'm not, okay, thank you for your call. No, hell no. Hell no, they need to stop it. Ain't nobody scared. Y'all need to stop thinking that we're scared. Yvonne Walker locked out her presidents for 3 damn years. Nobody said a word. You didn't say nothing. You didn't do nothing. Y'all the ones that's the damn cowards. What were y'all doing when she was doing all that nonsense that she was doing, all them shenanigans that she had going on? Y'all didn't say, I didn't hear a peep out of you people. Now all of a sudden y'all just brave as hell. All because Richard wants to stay professional, Richard wants to be presidential-like and all that. Look, one of these days, y'all gonna see another side of this man. The real one. I'm always real. I'm gonna stay that way. Stewart or not, throw me out, do whatever you want to do. All I know is don't get in my face when I come in December. I can see you and you can see me. I ain't that big. Matter of fact, I'm kind of tiny. A lot of people say I'm tiny, but I talk big. I can back it up. Trust and believe that. You people that don't want to be in this union, all because y'all mad that Richard's the president and he doing this and he ain't did that and he done stole the money. And y'all need to miss all of us with that. Those of us who wants to work in this union and better it and build it, let us take over. You guys go on over there on the sideline, get in your corners, drink whatever you gonna drink and stuff, but don't come for us. Just stop it right now. Richard Wake, Michael Gus, Frank Atkins, all of you damn haters. Oh, Jesus. That's what y'all need. Y'all need Jesus. Y'all ain't got no Jesus. Something wrong with you. And no matter what, I do believe in him. But I ain't Jesus. You ain't gonna slap me and I'm gonna turn the other cheek. That ain't gonna happen. That's all I got to say to you. Richard, you have a good night. I'm tired. Been driving all dang on day with this way out somewhere else, what they're doing to the heavens. But hey, it's cool. It's all right. Part of the job.
I heard you.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So, just want to say that. But for this man to call you a coward on the phone, who's the damn coward?
You know.
Who's the damn coward? I don't think it's you, but you know, let me on this call. You sounding like a female. Cut it out, man. Jesus. Good night, Richard.
Good night. And you know what? Angela has such a beautiful way, you know, and when Angela speaks with love and professionalism, you know, it may come across like, you know, she's promoting one thing when all she's actually doing is promoting love and respect. That's what she's saying. I have to translate this for you. So when she says that, you know, she wouldn't turn the other cheek, what she's saying is that we can all get along. But you have to give respect to get respect. And you just can't take and just keep running up on somebody and think that they're going to continue to let you run up on them. So I'm trying to translate that for you. Because when she says these things, she has so much love in her heart. So much sincerity. And I can't wait to meet her in person in December. Because, you know, a lot of people will take what she said and they'll say, oh, she sounds angry. No, that sister ain't angry. Oh, I'm sorry. That African American woman, she's not angry. She's a dues paying member. She's not angry. And I know people get on Facebook and say, he made her like that. No, I didn't make Angela Pruitt anything. I'm her little brother. That's talking in code. I'm not her real brother because my mama only had one child. Jenny had one child. But I'm saying I'm her little brother. That's what we say from the community, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, we're going to finish this up. And I'm going to make sure that I send, and anyone who wants to see this picture of DLC 767 President Richard Wake when he calls me a coward, just text me 408-207-2339, and I'll send you the picture. Then you can post it on Facebook. We're going into the holiday season, and I want everyone to have a great holiday. And whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or you don't, or you celebrate Thanksgiving in your own special way as a reflection of your culture and what your culture has been through, that's fantastic because you have that freedom in this country. We're going into the holiday season. Christmas is almost here. Happy Hanukkah. Now, and to the other people, Kwanzaa, baby. So listen, I want everybody to have a great holiday season. This is the time where you have fun. This is the time when you know you ain't working too hard on a job. And we're still the fourth largest economy. We're not going anywhere. And neither is Local 1000. But I want people to have fun during the holiday season. And, you know, all this stuff that's going on, you'll get a chance to see it live on the 18th and 19th of December, downtown Sacramento, 300 J Street, Holiday Inn. And if you have your essential worker premium pay petitions, make sure you fill them out and get it sent in to us as quickly as possible and tell all your coworkers. But I want people to have fun during the holiday. Do not let this union and its situations stress you out. I want you to get some rest. I want you to have some fun with your loved ones. And before you can say, well, what are you going to be doing, Richard? Well, I'm being a hypocrite right now. I'm going to be stressed out. I'm going to be working around the clock, studying, showing up at work sites, doing videos. And then you're going to say, there's something wrong with him. Why is he doing videos during the holiday season? Shouldn't he be taking a break? But I told you from 2015, I was going to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. He said, there's no way you can do it. You're right. I can't work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Can I get 21 hours in? Mm-hmm. I'm going to try. But I want everyone to have fun. And don't lose faith in this union. Now, I issued that command last week. I'm going to issue it out again. If you feel that you have to work on Thanksgiving Day at a work site, and you feel that no one loves you and cares about you, why don't you call me so I can show up? And we can laugh and have fun. And we don't have to talk about the union. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about or complain about, because in this great country, you currently can still complain. They haven't taken that right from you. They haven't mandated you be happy all the time. You can be sad. But I want people to relax and have fun. And still support Local 1000. And don't worry about these haters on Facebook and how they come for me and how they try to disparage me, try to destroy the hope in this union. Don't worry about that. I am not going anywhere. And as Angela Pruitt said, do you think I'm the type of person that you can run up on and think you're going to scare me? Everybody knows my address in Sacramento. 3225 43rd Street, Sacramento, 95817. Now someone's going to take me up on that offer one day and they're going to show up on my property. And I'll speak with love, peace, and hair grease on my property. I'll be waiting for you. All right, it's Local 1000 listens to you, Richard Lewis Brown, your Local 1000 president. Today was November 17th, 2021. It was fun. Oh, and one last thing to see who's still listening. Remember Michael Gus called last week? Talking about the credit cards and, you know, if you're really so transparent, Richard, You'd post your credit card transactions. If you're so transparent and you're not stealing any money. Well, maybe he didn't say those exact words, but he said I would post that. Well, Michael, I thought about it because I listened to you. So what I did, oh yeah, I posted the credit cards. Oh yes, I did. And I'm still trying to get the rest of the information. But I did you one better, Michael. I didn't post just for me. I posted for everybody. Going back to 2015. It's on the website. Thank you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.